well, if you will not come to my aid, you're next. And I have been saying this for the past 16 years. I know how the system works. Those bullies will keep bullying until you say to them, no, stop it. I'm not allowing you to do this. So it's up to you. If you want your country back, you can take it, but you have to come, you have to unite, and you have to push the evil away. What is required for the room to be filled with light is someone willing to go there and turn on the switch.
Warning, censorship. Warning, censorship.
Adam So's here for Rebel News outside of the Calgary Court Centre, where a large crowd has gathered in support of Pastor Artur Pawlowski. He is about to find out whether he will be going back to prison. Pastor Artur Pawlowski, we are mere moments away from finding out your fate if you will be going back to jail for taking your principled stance in defense of your fundamental rights as a pastor. How are you feeling?
Well, I'm feeling good. And no matter what, in the end of the day, we know how the story ends. We know that we have seen this movie before. There have been totalitarian regimes before, and they have all fallen, and they will fall. This one will fall as well. Unfortunately, many people will have to suffer until we will see that. So I'm optimistic. I'm willing to be the example for the courage to gather the courage of others.
Who was addicted to heavy drugs for 18 years. He was not able to be set free by any means, no matter what his family did. He came to this ministry at the city hall, and that day he asked God, after hearing someone preaching, he asked God, if you're real, if you can set me free from this addiction that has put me in homelessness, that has destroyed me and separated me from my family, I will believe you're real. And that day he was set free. 1 year later, I met that man serving along this ministry. And that man is now my husband for 10 years. These are our two children, Faith and Grace. And we believe what Artur has done, and Mariana and the team, has been from God to set people free, to bring people out of the streets. And there is no way on earth he should be in jail. There is no way on earth he should be in jail.
And I'm now here with David Pawlowski. You yourself are also facing potential time in prison for standing alongside your brother and not being willing to compromise. How are you feeling today?
Well, we stand on guard for thee, and I still pray and hope that the Charter of Rights and Freedoms and the Bill of Rights in this country will prevail, because these are the fundamental laws. I call them the glue of the country. So I hope that this man inside the courthouse will judge righteously and correctly in favor of Canada and Canadians, and that saying is the Charter of Rights and Freedoms and the Bill of Rights.
Shockingly, the City News building is right here. They couldn't bother to send someone across the street to cover this story that has garnered international attention. As usual, Rebel News was the only outlet here covering this story and bringing you the truth.
Thank you to Rebel News, to Ezra Lament, to Adam Sis here, covering so faithfully every aspect of Arthur's struggle, of David's struggle with the courts. And we thank, where are the rest of the media?
The sanctions announced by Justice Adam Germain do not include imprisonment for Pastor Artur Pawlowski or his brother David. They do include significant financial fines, as well as an obligation to perform some community service work not associated with street church. Additionally, and most problematically, both David and Artur will be under probation. David for 12 months and Artur for 18 months. And the contents of the probation, while some of it is fairly standard, includes some problematic and apparently targeted attacks on their ministries and capacities as pastor. First and foremost, Pastor Artur Pawlowski is forbidden from travel outside of Alberta. This a seeming response to the fact that he has been touring the United States and bringing quite a bit of attention to his mistreatment at the hand of government authorities. Furthermore, and again, most troublingly certainly, is the fact that Pastor Artur and David Pawlowski have been instructed to basically provide a verbal statement that has been pre-scripted discussing masks, vaccines, and COVID-19 in a manner that is approved by the government following any public comments they make. This has to be fleshed out, and once we have the written ruling, we can explore this at length, but this amounts to compelled speech, sanctions mandating that they follow up any statement with a pre-approved addendum clarifying that their opinion is not necessarily that of the government's. This is extremely problematic.
So, Pastor Artur, we have the ruling, not going to jail, but as you said, they've fundamentally attempted to undermine your capacity as a pastor. Clearly, this is better than going to jail, but how do you feel about the overall attack on your role as a pastor?
No, I'm going to jail. I mean, there is no question about that. They just did it in such a way to show that they are merciful. I am never going to obey those orders. Never. There's no way, because for me to lie to people, to open my mouth with a lie, it goes against the reason I'm alive. So like I said, murder me, it's better for me than to take my ability to preach the truth. I'm a pastor. That's what I do. I preach the truth. And I tell people real science. I hang around for 4 months with the real doctors, real biologists, virologists, real scientists. And I know that what they're doing here in Canada is wrong, it's evil, and people expect their pastors, the clergymen, to speak the truth. And this judge is effectively taking away my ability to tell the truth to the public. I cannot and I will never obey that kind of ruling.
And we know we've seen charter rights violated from the get-go. Compelled speech is the type of stuff we see in the Soviet Union, forcing you to add an appendix from the government, a footnote to every comment you make publicly as a pastor is ridiculous. So we will be appealing that. Do you have any words out there for people as we move forward with your legal battle in light of this ruling and what your plan is moving forward?
Well, I am in this situation because of you. You didn't stand up where there was a time to stand up. Canadians, rise up, stand up. Pastors, why are you not coming to my aid? Why are you obeying the rules of the tyrants and not obeying the commandments of Jesus Christ? I do not understand. It's beyond me. If people will rise up, it's over for the villains. If people will stand up for the rights, the tyrants will have no foothold. We need people to rise up. In 1981, I saw the power of the solidarity movement. We need solidarity movement again. And that reminds me of the story from a Romanian pastor that the communist government said they're going to come and arrest him in his house. And the people came and surrounded his house day after day after day and did not allow the communists to come in. And the communists collapsed. We need something radical. We need something more than just show up once a week for a nice walk, for freedom. We need something more. This is obviously not working. We are being stripped from everything right now. We've lost our businesses. We've lost our rights. We've lost our children. They're taking everything. We've lost our media, our court system. Obviously, as you heard today, we have no independent court system anymore. It's all connected to the political agenda. For 1 hour, this judge was not talking about the law. He was talking about political narration about the COVID pandemic and all that stuff. That's ridiculous. That's not his job. He's not an expert. He's not an expert in this in this topic. Stick to the law, and obviously he can't even do that.
We've seen students losing out on their educations. We've seen businesses like Without Papers Pizza losing out. We've seen pastors targeted and discriminated against, and it's because other people are unwilling to stand up. They don't want to risk being a target. What do you say to those people who don't agree with this but haven't had the courage to say enough is enough and to stand up?
Well, if you will not come to my aid, you're next. And I have been saying this for the past 16 years. I know how the system works. Those bullies will keep bullying until you say to them, no, stop it. I'm not allowing you to do this. So it's up to you. If you want your country back, you can take it, but you have to come, you have to unite, and you have to push the evil away. What is required for the room to be filled with light? Is someone willing to go there and turn on the switch. That's what we need. Turn on the switch of the truth, the light. Go to the darkness and bring the light.
Free the man of God! For the hour of judgment is come. This city is ashamed. This country is ashamed.
Well, this is this is totally communist China. I mean, is this Canada anymore? I mean, what about the Charter of Rights and Freedoms? This guy was supposed to be a judge. In my opinion, he's a crook. And Canadians need to wake up. Canadians need to wake up. What, we cannot speak our minds anymore? This is Canada. I think he forgot it's Canada. If he likes totalitarian state, why doesn't he move to China?
It's unbelievable. And one of the biggest concerns and criticisms throughout all this is that it has been so politicized. It hasn't been application of the law. And if there is any doubt of that, the comments throughout courts that we will share from transcription, as well as this ruling effectively stifling your free speech, his ruling is a charter violation. What do you make of that?
Well, you know, once again, he's supposed to be a judge. He's breaking federal laws. You know, he's sitting dressed up in the outfit. He's frankly defiling it, and it's crazy. It's crazy that it's going that far.
They want to make an example out of me, and they want to take the very thing that they are terrified the most, my voice. I will be preaching from prison if needs be. Every day I'll be on the phone preaching to every media outlet that is willing to record the conversation. I've done it when we were arrested before. And I'm telling you, I may have a very small reach from here, but when I'm there, millions of people are listening to the recorded phone calls from prison. And if that's the way to amplify my voice, so be it. But remember this, the Premier of Alberta has the power to stop this insanity right now. He has that power. And if he is going to choose not to exercise that power, then you have a tyrant as the Premier. Tyrant. So again, like I said, $50,000 combined, 18 months probation for me. I cannot be a pastor. And what it was 120 community hours. And this crooked judge said, Listen what he said.
This is interesting.
I have devoted 22 years already of my life to save lives and feed the poor. 7 times I remortgaged my house to keep feeding the poor on the streets of your city here in Calgary. Not received a penny from the government. Everything I've done, I did it with volunteers and the people that have a heart, not like those politicians. And this judge is telling me I cannot serve those over 100 hours community service with the church that feeds the poor every week.
Free Pastor Art! Free Pastor Art! Free Pastor Art!
Folks have gathered and are linking arms in opposition to what they've perceived as a miscarriage of justice today. The ruling attempting to stifle Pastor Artur Pawlowski is not being well received.
Freedom! Freedom!
Freedom! Freedom!
So the crowd is still gathering here. The ruling has come down, the sanctions from Justice Adam Germain. Pastor Artur Pawlowski, as we know, is not going to prison based on this ruling anyways, but he has made clear that he will not comply or be stifled. So ultimately, he may face arrest again when he refuses to comply for this ruling. As always, we're going to continue to bring you the latest developments on this story. I want to thank you all for tuning in. For Rebel News, I'm Adam Sos. We will appeal the ruling today that has sought to stifle Pastor Artur Pawlowski, but to do so, we need your help. So go to saveartur.com now, contribute what you can to help in this legal fight.